Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, June 16th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're well. And to all the dads, in whatever capacity you are a dad, happy Father's Day today. I hope you have a great day. And if you're listening to this later in the week or at any time, I hope you had a very good day and a week filled with many blessings. For those of you new, welcome. Please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. I'm also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp, and I'm also under my business page on Facebook under Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. And for those of you who listen every week, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just so grateful. I feel so blessed and I'm humbled by the amount of listeners I have, and more listeners than I realized, and hopefully our numbers are growing. I would appreciate that so much. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I guess you could also share on Facebook too. And whatever way you can share would be so much appreciated. So today's topic, being a spiritual warrior. Keep at it. Keep going, keep rowing, keep running, keep walking, at times even keep crawling, but keep stepping forward in that role of being a spiritual warrior for yourself. It is so important. And as you are fulfilled in that role, it will be able to overflow and be an inspiration and a help to others. So what do I mean by spiritual warrior? Where I noticed something this week. I had an aha this week. And those ahas can come out of nowhere about something for the first time, but oftentimes it's universal reminders about where I am and where I'm going and where I've been and how I have been impacted in my world. And we are all here to grow, to expand, to create, to really play this game of life. But the thing is, all of us, every single one of us, is impacted first by those around us, by our environment, by what is said to us, what is said in front of us that we embrace with our own perception, our own belief. And yes, it happens sometimes before we're even able to talk, often actually, and especially when we're 2 years old, 3 years old. It's been given different ages, but some spiritual masters would tell you that we really have our lives set up and our programming set up by 7 years old. Some would say it's 3 years old. I really feel it probably is in those, what I like to call elementary school years. It's when we're the most impressed upon, the most vulnerable to what others would say to us and how they feel about us in, again, our perceptions. Because sometimes we're pure. When we're young, we're pure. And when someone starts on us, when we're very, very young, and is telling us that in some way we're not good enough. Maybe we're not good enough in how we act, how we look, how smart we are, what our body image is. I don't know about you, and I bet you about you, that in some way you were exposed to somebody else's judgments about yourself and other people. I know I was. But what's the aha this week? Well, the aha was that just a realization that at some point, with no blame, with no fault on any other person, they're just doing their thing. That's how I wish to perceive it, by the way. That's how I wish, or I insist on being. Because we don't know our impact. We don't know when the power of our words, the power of our actions. Often, I am very conscious of that nowadays, but most are not. So I don't put a blame to what was given to me. I just know as an adult that it's my job to, I guess, fix it or to heal it. It's no one else anymore. It's all mine. But when I was very young, I had the belief system given to me that in some way I was not enough. And it came from various sources, not just one. And what it does is that it implants it in you. I'm not enough. Or in some other belief. Or I'll always be poor. Or I'll always be this certain body. Those thoughts are implanted and then they cycle. And you live off of them. The risks you take are off of them. The job you go towards is off of them. The relationships you choose are off of them. What you believe about yourself. And we put out that vibration. This is who I am. I had an indirect disrespect shown to me. It wasn't at me directly. It was shaded. And whether they meant to put out shade or not, they did. And I had the aha. Wait a second. I have had people around me that are in some way all the same. Why? What am I doing to have all the same people inside around me? No, they're not all the same, but majority, primary, yes. It's me. It's not them. It's me. In my case, from what I was given very young, it gave me the desire, the motivation to be a spiritual helper. So I tend to be the person that people want to vent to. And by the way, if you're someone who has vented to me, I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I'm saying that I'm the one that people know or feel safe speaking their truth, speaking how they really feel to me. Now, sometimes the person who does that, and thankfully it's rarely, sometimes they will put all their feelings and just not be nice. Because, see, I've learned, as you might have learned, that spiritual people not only should not be materially mindseted, but also, you should take it. There should be something holier about spiritual people, more perfect, healers, fixers, savers, that type of energy. And so people are drawn to that. They want to give all their pain to you and say, okay, take it, transform, put up with it, fix it. I even had a former client say to me, I'm paying you so I can talk to you however I want. Well, they're a former client. It was one instance, one person, but indicative of how I have been feeling about myself. And you know that this is true about spiritual people, because there are pastors out there like Joel Osteen that get such vitriol and nastiness and negativity because they are a successful author. Sorry about that impediment of the speech. They're successful, so they have a nice home, they have a nice car, they fly, and there are some, pastors that have their own plane, and they'll give a good explanation as to why. So their explanation will be, I need the plane to go over to other countries and to serve and to give to the poor. And I am not going to dive deep into whether that is right or wrong or anything, but immediately, no matter what the reason is for their signs of wealth, people judge them. They judge them because pastors should be poor. But heaven doesn't feel that we should be down here poor on earth. It's us who have our beliefs, our perceptions. Now, these people that are pastors that are not poor, they've gotten around that, or they would be. They would not have the material luxuries. By the way, some do not want or need material luxuries, desire them, and that's all right. But if you do, it's important not to let others tell you that it's right or wrong or judge. We're really not supposed to be judging here. I always say it's above my pay grade. But really, above my pay grade does not judge. It just doesn't. What you put out, you get back. Some pastors put out a desire for wealth, and it comes back to them. They also have a prosperity mindset, or what is called a prosperity gospel, where they try to teach their flock how to be wealthy as well. However, the flock is often held back by their own thoughts of, but if I'm wealthy, am I a good person? If I want wealth, am I really a good person? So my point of bringing this up is they were taught that. We've been taught that. The meek will inherit the earth. All of this. And oftentimes the ones that teach us these things are the wealthiest. Yes. A billionaire who is earning billions all the time will teach their workers how to accept less. Well, I cannot give you that raise. I cannot give you that living wage. They don't say it out loud. They're saying it out loud more, but they never used to say it out loud. But if they give you the living wage, they're making less than billions. The more generous we are to others, the more generous the universe is with us. Because what we put out, we get back. Again, that is such a truth. I'm going to repeat it over and over again. If you put out wealth, you get back wealth. If you put out, oh, don't give me too much, the universe will not give you too much. If you put out, I am not enough, the universe will always show you that you're not enough. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I've been on this earth for decades, and this week I got a reminder that in some way I still have the same people in my world. Not as many as before, but still there. I'm still attracting in some way, in a small way, how I feel about myself. So why should you really concentrate on being a spiritual warrior for yourself? Because what I've noticed this week is that it's less than it ever was. It's almost like a storm went through, but now you have the isolated pop-ups. And as I said, it was indirect. It wasn't directly at me. It was shade. I giggle at how I put it. Don't mind me. If you're a new listener, This is pretty much what you get, the giggle. So shade is still attraction. Still is shade, meaning that I have something to still work on. And that's what it's all about, spiritual warriors. It's how do you want to feel inside? What do you still need to work on? Who do you want to be? This week, someone booked and canceled because the wait was too long for me. You know what I did? I have a peer that I respect so much and I know is equal in my abilities. I checked her out on her website because I remembered she had a year wait. She now has a 2-year wait, and she's not even accepting new clients. I don't really quite understand this, but she's only seeing clients she's had before. I am sure that she might hear some things. Maybe she does not, though. But what I did is I checked that out because I insist on being of the mindset that your appointment is worth that wait. You come when you are supposed to. I, in the past, tried to work days off, harder, and the wait was still there, 6 to 8 weeks, longer for Saturdays. The wait was still there. It didn't budge. But I was more burned out. Lesson. So instead of feeling bad about someone who wants immediate attention, I decided it was time to manifest clients that were thrilled that they only have to wait 6 to 8 weeks and not a year or 2 years or 5 years or be on a waiting list, as could happen. Stay tuned. Now, immediately, when I started working on that mindset, my clients are grateful that they only have to wait that long. And I am abundant. I am prosperous. I had plenty of bookings all of a sudden come in. And so that is the little shift. Now, sometimes that shift takes time. That physical reality doesn't show up immediately. In my case, it did. I was shown, I shifted right. But right for me. But sometimes it might take months. It might take years even to see what you are fully believing, fully wishing to be. There will come a time when the wait will be longer for me. Is that something that my ego needs? No. But when you do your job in a way of integrity and helpfulness, and you are in a place of, like me, referrals, the referrals will build. The light will expand. And so that may very well mean that the wait would as well. But in my place is to be confident in it, to accept it, to know who I am and what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to serve. And to feel grateful and to have others around me grateful as well. You see how we can work for ourselves to not feel bad, because you see, it's happened to me where I've been tested on feeling good about myself. I bet you've been tested on feeling good about yourself. Someone tells you you're not doing enough. You're not giving enough. You are, in a customer-related universe. you're not serving enough in some way. The customer isn't happy. All that matters is that you're happy, that you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy, that you know who you are and what you are worthy of. Clear out that which is not good for you, whether it be in a work job, a relationship, a lifestyle choice, whatever it may be. Stand up for yourself. Love yourself. Know who you are. And if you do that, the severe storm will turn into the isolated pop-up and then turn into blue skies and perfect temperatures. I was still a bit sad this week by the shade, but I was not as sad as I've been before, and it was momentary. It was brief. It was the aha, the lesson that things are in my world getting better and better and better. And then as soon as I realized that and felt gratitude showed itself. Reasons to be grateful. Never let another human being make you feel that you're less. And also, oh, sorry for the knock. I hit the desk. Also, I want to say this. Step back 2 steps and look at your world fairly. I got that space. Give yourself that space. I got that this week too. It was a blessing. It was a gift. I step back and I always do this, but I got the aha that this probably is happening. What I mean is, I often will step back and say, could this be going on? Or is it really like this? Now, I've gotten it, the aha, as you keep hearing me call it, when it's something that was negative going on that I didn't see, and I got it through space, and I went, whoa, I didn't even realize how much was going on that I didn't deserve, I didn't need, and I didn't want. But this week, I was able to step back with space and go, wait a second. I think it is all more positive than I've realized. Good. Okay. How do we tackle that? And so that can be about, as I said, any situation. Don't always go towards worst case scenario. There was just a situation that in, again, my personal life, not directly impacting me, but around me. And someone just around expected the worst. Oh, they're in it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. Everything was negative. And it ended up not being that way. And short-lived, thankfully. Don't always assume that the worst is going to happen. Prepare for the best. Look for the best. Strive for the best in everyone and in everything. Be fair. Give the fairness that you would want yourself to receive. So very important. So why did I call this podcast today Being a Spiritual Warrior? Because sometimes we have to fasten our seatbelts and get in that boat. Well, fasten the seatbelts while in the boat. And the water turns to rapids. And there might be a waterfall ahead. But if you can avoid those rocks, or hit those rocks only so bluntly. And keep staying above water. You will find you get to the calmness and you avoid the waterfall. Or it's much less and kind of fun than you thought it would be. Stay with it. Don't give up on humanity. Don't give up on yourself. Try your best to surround yourself with the best people around you. Now, here's what I would like to say about those who are unhealed or need more healing around you. Have understanding, have compassion. Send that energy to that person or persons. But stand up for yourself. Heal you. Do whatever is necessary for healing. You may find that it's challenging, especially if you're a yes person and you're now saying no. But say the no when you have to. Because if you do that, your world will shift for the better. It's a process, as I told you. It's probably not going to happen overnight, but it will. And want for yourself all that you could ever want for anyone else. No matter what it is, health, love, wealth, no matter what, be intentional about it. I deserve that as well. You do, and there's nothing wrong with it. Go for it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, happy Father's Day to all the dads in every capacity. And be sure to check out all my sites, and you are welcome to make an appointment. You can hit the schedule appointment button on any page under Lisa M. Hobbs, under lisahop.com. And I just wish you a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.